to the main cook. You know, our regular pattern of accommodation in Nigeria, the case is different here. Like, you even have to apply to look for house. Say, be like say you dey find work. Basically everything be like say you dey find work. Like, okay, like I'm registering my daughter in school already. That one is just for another day. Like, to apply for my daughter to start school, like, it's another application altogether. And so back to my story. Actually, I tried myself to reach out to a few agents based on the houses we saw, you know, considering our budget and everything. But there was one funny thing that kept happening. You know, we start talking, exchange pleasantries. I tell them this is the house, and then we start talking. We even do virtual tours. There's room for virtual tours and all that. So just so that you see what you're getting, and you're sure that's actually what you want. But the moment we get to, okay, let's go for it, let's finalize, and then they start asking you for the documentation, and start asking you for your history and everything. That's where the problem starts, because of something called credit score. And so basically there's really nothing that you can do in Canada without a good credit score. Like, these people want to be sure that you're able to pay them their rent as at when due. They kind of have an upfront system of rent payments here. Like, you pay maybe the first day of the beginning of the month. Yeah, so they want to be sure that you're able to pay it. So they basically, like, anything you want to do, they want to see your credit score, just to show that you're reliable financially, and that you keep up with your financial obligations. And so when they get to that, and then like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't proceed for that because you don't have a credit score. Like, what? I already told you from the beginning that I was not in Canada. I'm just coming in, and I'm coming in from Nigeria, and I needed a place where I didn't want to do the Airbnb. I didn't want to do short lets. I wanted a place where myself and my family will enter, and we know that this is our place, and start adjusting. We didn't want to start moving, coming with all that luggage. Then you go to a temporary place, and then you now move again with all that luggage. I know what me and my husband saw at the airport just to reach here, because even the guy that carried us in his vehicle, like, he didn't like film. The thing did not clear him on time. Like, when he came and he saw the luggage, he was like, this is much. And then he was wondering how this thing fits. I told him, okay, relax. Even the Oyibo guy that was, and they're like, oh boy, they shocked them. By the time we finished, you know how these peace mass people, anytime you want to enter transfer, and you go to peace mass and you see all this luggage, and you be wondering, where will all this enter? Before, all those things will enter that car, even with the humans. And that was how we packed everything, and he entered. So the guy was like, oh my, I try, my husband try. He held my husband and he held us, and then we entered. All of 5 of us entered the vehicle still, and we landed in the house. So imagine doing that over and over again. So I didn't really want to do that. So I already know we're going to come with a lot of baggage because of our baggage allowance, and of course it's relocation. You have to be prepared. So before you start settling down and getting used to a lot of stuff, you don't really want to start running helter-skelter. So that's why I didn't go for the Airbnb, and so we needed that place. So back to our story. So once we get to the credit score, these guys start like backing out. So it was really tough, because we just thought that once we found our suitable option, we just, secured the lease and all that. But it was far-fetched, because as soon as we got to documentation and the credit score matter comes up, those guys be like, I particularly had one that kept me up for days waiting for her to respond. Of course, the time difference, about 5 hours difference. And so their morning is our late morning, almost afternoon, morning, and our afternoon is their morning, our night is their afternoon, that kind of stuff. So I was just trying to be away, trying to keep up with her. And then at the end of it, this woman gave me a laugh. Like, she was like, without the credit score that, she can put. Like, when she wasn't even willing to dialogue and all that. And then we had someone that even said, okay, that I should make some concessions I should pay. It was not just paying the extra money. He asked, but he now told me for an extra, apart from myself and my husband, for every extra occupant, I should pay like $200 on top. Guy, waiting the sub. So I should pay like $200 extra for my daughter, another $200 extra for my son. Like, what's working you? You know, it was really tough. So eventually I reached out to, thankfully I had a relative in Canada, so I reached out to my cousin, and then I was like, okay, this is what I am experiencing. How were you guys able to navigate this? And so he sends me a number. Now, having that number sent to me, like having that number given to me on a platter of gold, was life changing. It was life turning. Like meeting that person online, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, my cousin sent me this number of this kind-hearted, down-to-earth woman, you know. She was so nice, she was so welcoming, she was so accommodating. So I explained everything to her. And that is where our relationship with her started. You know, there were some things that she did that in my mind, I'm like, do we still have in human beings like this, like people that are just nice, nothing, no strings attached, not like somebody doing you a favor because they know tomorrow you do something back for them or something. She was just very nice. She even offered to go in person tour for us, like to check out the houses. You know, there's some things you can see virtually but you don't know unless you get there in person, like maybe if the house has maybe a certain odor or something of that nature, you know, or maybe if what they are showing you how is a little bit different from what it looks like in real life. So she even offered to go view the place for us, connected also her own house agents, you know. Everything was smooth. She was even like a reference for us when we started applying. So that is it. And then we chose the house that we're currently living in, and then the journey officially started. They gave us the rental application, and so we started filling. Come and see,